Now, something you're all familiar with, I'm sure, HS2, the controversial high-speed railway network, is facing a legal challenge today in the Supreme Court. That's the highest court in the UK. The campaign group HS2 Action Alliance have taken the case there as they allege that the government, in deciding to proceed with HS2, have failed to follow important laws designed to protect the environment. The case is the latest attempt to derail HS2. Campaigners have previously seen legal challenges rejected by the High Court and the Court of Appeal. Richard Houghton is from HS2 Action Alliance. That is the group coordinating today's legal challenge. He is on the line to us this morning. Good morning to you, Richard.
Good morning.
Good morning. And in the studio this morning, we have James Lewis from West Yorkshire Metro. Morning, James.
Hello, good morning.
Nice to see you. OK, let me ask you first of all, Richard, legal challenges to HS2 rejected by the High Court and the Court of Appeal. Why persist at the Supreme Court?
I think two reasons. One, we think if you're going to spend £50 billion on a single train line, if you think that's a good idea, you should do it with the minimum amount of environmental damage, and this existing recommendation certainly isn't that. And secondly, on each of the High Court and the Appeal Court, we were given right on the day, which is unusual to appeal. So there's clearly the judges feel that the case is a strong one and well worth appealing, and also has implications for future infrastructure projects as well.
Potentially lots of legal jargon here, but in layman's terms, what are the grounds upon which you're objecting to HS2?
Layman's terms, we believe that the government should have run something called a strategic environmental assessment. Simply means you check your proposed route against alternatives and see which one does the least environmental damage, and that is the one you should choose. And really that's what we're arguing, and the government's argument is that no decision has been made on HS2 yet, so they don't need to run a strategic environmental assessment.
OK, are you arguing that the current proposed route is not the best one environmentally, or you just want them to look at that before they move on?
We're arguing that you need to do a full assessment, and we're fairly confident that if you were to look at the existing route, which goes through 24 sites of special scientific interest, an area of outstanding natural beauty, Leam Valley in Warwickshire, it goes on, that alternative routes that probably followed existing transport corridors would be less environmentally damaging.
All right, James Lewis from West Yorkshire Metro, you can hear that there is still a very strong opposition to HS2. Is it still the right choice for us here in West Yorkshire?
I think a scheme which links the six biggest cities in England together is a right scheme. It adds that extra capacity and improved journey times. I think the government have to get the scheme right, though. I mean, it is a huge scheme, one of the biggest transport schemes we'll have seen done in one go in this country. Obviously, the motorway network for road traffic that was built up section at a time, and HS2 is doing a big section of transport infrastructure together. So clearly there's going to be a considerable amount of scrutiny on the scheme. And I think it's absolutely right the government gets it right. But I think I don't want us to lose sight of the bigger picture here. We have a creaking Victorian rail infrastructure. There's problems with capacity on the network, and HS2 is an answer to many of those problems. It's not just about getting people from Leeds to London very, very quickly. It's also about providing new journeys and additional local journeys as well. The track isn't just there for national services or express services, there's also capacity for local services as well.
What do you make of this legal challenge that's in the Supreme Court today?
I mean, clearly people feel they've got a grievance and want to take it through the courts. They've already been to two courts where it's been rejected, but clearly they want to proceed it further. Like I say, it's a big project. I think it's right that it's subjected to the correct scrutiny, and right that the environmental impacts assessed. A little bit of the route go through my own council ward, and I know the concern it creates among local residents, but I still believe that the concept is the right one and the government has to get it right.
Are you, Richard, just delaying, this is Richard Houghton from HS2 Action Alliance, are you just delaying A, the inevitable, and B, an important economic and transport boost for the UK?
I think, in answer to those two questions, are we delaying the inevitable? Absolutely not. I mean, there's a reason why the government signs up to European laws, and they believe it's important, and this one is, designed to protect our environment. Once you've built over sites of scientific interest or areas of outstanding natural beauty, you can't redo it. So it's important that the right decision is made. And if you think back to 2010, when they announced HS2 was all about speed. So the route is straight as a die until it loops around the Chancellor's constituency. And that's because it has to run at ultra-high speed. Well, the truth of the matter is, the Transport Secretary said at the Tory conference, it isn't about speed now, it's about capacity. So I think, the route needs to be reviewed. And in terms of capacity, the West Coast Main Line is busy, but it's running at 52% capacity at peak. There are much busier lines that aren't going to get any benefit out of HS2. If you're running from Reading into London every day, you're running at well over 130% capacity already.
All right, we'll need to leave it there, but thanks for your time. Richard Houghton from the HS2 Action Alliance and James Lewis from West Yorkshire Metro. Thank you for your time as well this morning.